What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to cover Lucid exercising their convertible notes and exactly how much money they've raised from this, as well as why Lucid could be on the rise very soon, and how they've had a pretty big credibility boost by being added to the NASDAQ 100. Now, before we actually get into all that information, I want to show you guys where Lucid is trading right now. And today they're actually down about 0.3% at the time of recording, and they're almost at $38, currently right now trading at $37.85. Now, although they are down today, I don't think they're down as much as they would have been had they not been added to the NASDAQ 100. And I also think that investors were figuring that this convertible note exercise was going to affect Lucid's stock a lot more. And when they saw that it was actually a positive thing for Lucid, I think that's what's helping neutralize their stock today and why they're really not down too much. But Lucid announced a full exercise of their convertible notes, and they've raised an aggregate total of in excess of $2 billion US. And as of yesterday, shares began trading as part of the NASDAQ 100 index. But as of right now, Lucid's setting new standards with their advanced luxury EVs, and yesterday they actually announced the full exercise of the 15% greenshoe option under the convertible senior notes offering announced on December 8th. This has raised an additional $262.5 million for Lucid's business under this offering and bringing the total gross proceeds to over $2 billion. This offering is comprised of green bonds, which means that Lucid is going to spend an amount equal to the proceeds on eligible green investments in their business, and this is underscoring their commitment to address climate change and environmental challenges. And Sherry House, the CFO of Lucid, said that this funding will allow Lucid to carry out key milestones and growth plans further into the future, thereby mitigating risk in the business. It's also one of the largest green convertible offerings in market history, reflecting the strength and mission of their business, their track record of performance, and their enormous growth opportunity that lies ahead. Now, Lucid has definitely kept things very interesting for investors in 2021, but I think that there's a lot to come, and I think Lucid stock could be on the rise again pretty soon. And this is coming after all the negative things that have happened for Lucid. If you guys have been following Lucid recently, you probably know that December really hasn't been the best month for them. There was quite a few things that really shocked investors and brought their share price down, starting with the SEC looking into the SPAC merger that took place back in July. That was one of the main things that ended up bringing Lucid down about 30% in December. And as a result of this dip that we've seen in December, Lucid stock is currently priced at early November levels, and this offers significant upside if they end up recovering, and not to mention long-term growth potential should they live up to expectations, both in delivery numbers and the hype around the entire company. Even though they have been hit by a few things that are negative to the market and negative to Lucid stock specifically, there's also been quite a few positive things that have helped neutralize Lucid stock and some things that have actually helped bring up their stock over the past few months. If we actually back up to September 21st, the EPA actually confirmed Lucid's Air Dream Edition had a range of 520 miles. This put them with the longest range ever for an EPA-rated EV. And then only 1 week later, the Lucid Air production began in Arizona, and reservations actually topped 13,000. And then both the end of October and mid-November were also good for Lucid, because end of October, Lucid confirmed their first customer deliveries at their October 30th event. And then mid-November, November 15th, Lucid's Q3 earnings highlights included $4.8 billion in cash on their balance sheet, and they had reservations at 17,000. And then during that same time, the Lucid Air was named Motor Trend's 2022 Car of the Year. Now, all those things are fine and dandy until Lucid ended up receiving a subpoena from the SEC. I think they ended up losing quite a few investors because of this, or at least it made a lot more investors start doing their own research on Lucid, especially people who were maybe just blindly investing and just watching videos and investing based on those videos. Also adding to the pressure on Lucid stock, December also included the news that Peter Rawlinson was going to sell nearly 467,000 shares. And as I mentioned earlier, people were expecting this to take a bigger hit and affect Lucid's share price more than it actually ended up doing. And so it spooked the market early on because people were figuring that there was going to be more dilution in the shares, and they figured that the share price was going to drop. As we can see, this didn't really end up being the case. Lucid ended up bottoming out at 36.52 on December 9th, and that was the lowest they had closed since November 2nd. Now recently, they had a 3-day rally beginning on December 10th, and that was when they announced $1.75 billion in convertible senior notes at an interest rate of 1.25%. And this combination of a very low interest rate and the fact that if the buyers choose to convert their money into Lucid shares, that would be at a rate of $54.78 per share. This ended up lifting their stock those few days, and then we had news last week that Lucid was going to be joining the NASDAQ 100 index. And this is great news because they're joining some of the giant companies like Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, and this shows that Lucid really is a legit company, and it opens up Lucid shares to consideration by index funds. So overall right now, there's a lot of analysts that are a little more cautious on Lucid stock these days. But with them being pushed down so low right now, and with them trading under $40, I think anything under $40 really is a buy. Now that's not to say that you guys shouldn't continue to do your own research. You shouldn't just take my word for it because I'm not a financial advisor. But based on where we've seen Lucid trade in the past, they pretty much bounced around anywhere from $17 to $60, but it looks like they have a lot of support right around $36 to $40, and then the next major resistance isn't until $45 or $50. But you have to keep in mind the SEC probe, and there's still a good chance of further volatility ahead, and we're going to see Lucid have a pretty rough road, probably for a few months to come. It's probably not going to be smooth sailing. I don't think we're going to see any steady or predictable growth for quite a few months, but I think Lucid's more of a long-term play, just like I've said about a lot of other EV companies in the past. Most EV companies aren't something that you just want to buy into short term. They're a long-term play because electric vehicles are the vehicles of the future. Now we know this because a lot of countries want to actually ban gas-powered vehicles by 2025, and there's also states here in the US that want to get rid of gas-powered vehicles by 2025 as well. And so it's just a matter of time before gas vehicles are phased out and the only thing on the road is electric vehicles. Future growth of the companies is taken into consideration, and a lot of these stocks like Lucid, NIO, Tesla, and most other electric vehicle companies that you want to talk about, they're not only in the automotive space, but they're also in the technology space. And I think that's what really gives them an edge over normal everyday stocks, especially over traditional automotive stocks. But in terms of Lucid's vehicles, as of right now, it's too soon to tell whether they're actually going to be a success. And I'm talking in terms of their vehicle sales. I think right now it's pretty obvious that they're going to have pretty successful vehicles. And this is given the fact that Peter Rawlinson actually worked as an engineer at Tesla. And so I think a lot of people are putting faith in him because he knows how these vehicles work and he knows what's going to make them successful. Now, even if we don't end up seeing huge growth from Lucid in terms of delivery numbers over the next few quarters, I think it's important to realize that Lucid being added to the NASDAQ 100 is pretty big for them, because the NASDAQ 100 is the performance of the 100 largest NASDAQ listed non-financial companies, and it's based on market cap, and Lucid really didn't take very much time at all to achieve this milestone. They only went public on the NASDAQ back in July, so it's only been about 5 months or so, but this will definitely bring a sense of prestige to both the company and to Lucid stock. And you combine that with the issuance of the convertible senior notes, and this should provide an opportunity for Lucid to develop their business. And while not everybody's going to be a fan of Lucid, I think people who are fans of electric vehicle stocks are probably going to find a way and find reasons to accumulate a small position in Lucid stock. Now, I wouldn't suggest putting all your eggs in one basket. I would suggest diversifying your portfolio. But at least to me personally, I think that Lucid is a pretty good investment long term. I don't think if you invest right now, you're going to see big returns in the short term. But long term, with all these things that we've gone over today, I think Lucid does have a pretty good fighting chance against larger automakers. And I think them separating themselves and putting themselves in the luxury end of vehicles versus just normal vehicles, that helps set them aside. And I think that's going to help them get more customers. Now, I'd like if you guys could leave a comment down in the comment section about whether you think Lucid being added to the NASDAQ 100 is going to be beneficial for them, and if them raising money from these convertible senior notes is going to have a positive effect over the next few years. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one.